So I'm a 26-year-old and I've never had a girlfriend in my entire life. The reason that is because I've just been a very, very shy person who stays to themselves and doesn't really go anywhere or do anything. I come from a household where I have no siblings that are close to my age, and I was pretty much raised by my grandparents who were in their 70s at the time. Never really did anything but just play video games all day and live with some old people. And I really think I stunted my growth in doing that. I thought in doing what I was doing, I was kind of avoiding my home life. And I was just so afraid of winding up like my parents, becoming like alcoholics and the people I was around in school, that I basically just wound up avoiding everything. I wound up avoiding drinking or anything. Just, I don't think you need to drink to have fun, but I just was too scared to try anything or do anything. So I just stayed to myself, and it has stunted my growth as a person, I think. So now I'm trying to fix that. And my goal this year is that by the time I'm 27, I want to have at least a prospect of being in a relationship. I tried online dating. It really hasn't worked out for me. I haven't done that great of a job too with the online dating because I don't take pictures of myself at all. So like just finding pictures of myself to use. I know a lot of people have those really nice like photographer taken where they've got their hand on their knee and they got a really nice backdrop, but my picture is just me like doing a selfie almost, and it probably comes across as pretty lazy in comparison. But like I said, I just don't take pictures. I don't have any social media accounts that I use to pull pictures from. I I just been pretty much a recluse, and there's another area where I struggle to adapt. But I'm making things happen for myself at the same time. I This year, starting in January, is when I set that goal. I've really been going through a lot of my stuff and updating it, just like my sense of style. I had some raggedy shoes I got rid of that had like lawn clippings hanging out of them because the sole was coming undone. I don't have to find the one this year, but I do need to make sure that we're not becoming a wizard, because that's what I'm on pat. They say if you make it to 30 and you're still a virgin, you become a wizard. So I guess I made it to become an acolyte, but I'm trying to, just get in a relationship. And that isn't a concern of mine either. Like being a virgin, that doesn't really bother me as much as just not having any connection with people and just spending all my time alone by myself for most days. I don't have anybody in my field either. I work pretty much in the electrical field, which is 100% men, and it's most of the men I work with are between the ages of 50 and 80. So some of them like have grandkids or great grandkids. It's not really like a demographic you could date people in. And I'm reading this book. It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And it sounds like an incel book when I say that because it sounds like some of the things people will type on Reddit. But what it's actually about is kind of how people who come from a traumatic environment oftentimes adopt these beliefs that serve them in childhood and don't necessarily serve them in adulthood. And that's something that's I definitely feel like is true for me. And it's really just all those little irrational fears I think I have are from a traumatic childhood. And I'm trying to overcome them and recognize them. And that's been a very helpful book to do that. I think one of the examples that applies to me, they were talking about how people, when they're unsatisfied with their life, will often turn towards various forms of addiction to get what they're not getting in life. And when I played video games for 10 to 16 hours a day, that's definitely something I did. I I just wasted so many years, and it's such a point of anxiety for me. I just want to get over that fear so I can move on with my life and focus on other stuff. Because beyond this, my life, I would say, is fairly good. My health isn't that great, and that just comes down to me not taking great care of myself and being kind of depressed as a result of all this. But I wouldn't even say I'm depressed anymore. I don't have a fulfilling life, I would say, at this point in my life. I'm just trying to fix that though. But yeah, I recently set a 43-day goal of, I had made myself a list of things to do, and I'm actually going to be taking some time off of work to focus on this because I have a tendency of working a lot, and then I'll just like do that to compensate for not focusing on other stuff because working is easy for me. I understand that I'm good at it, but when it comes to like stuff I don't know, I struggle with that. So I'm kind of forcing myself to limit the amount of hours I put into my business and just focus on getting out there, reading this book, this self-help book. I plan on reading 3 self-help books this in like the next week. While I'm working, I'll listen to just some Audible stuff, and I also plan on kind of going out of my comfort zone just by going to different places, just driving different places. Like I was thinking about driving to Chicago and just going there for like a weekend or something because I've never really even traveled either, and that's comes again to my fear of people. I just don't deal with people. About the closest I come to dealing with people on a day-to-day basis is when I go to the gas station or something, and I'll get like a diet soda and hey, how you doing? And you want to get our gift card or our loyalty card? And that's about the most social interaction I get some days. And that's a problem. I want to do better. I plan on doing better. I've got a whole slew of goals over there that I set for myself. I kind of was inspired by the 43-day thing by actually the 45 days when I did Lent. I gave up some stuff during Lent, and I think that was a very rewarding experience. I also read the Bible, and I've just been trying. I don't know. Things may not work out for me, and I'm okay with that. But I at least have to be able to say I put forth a solid effort, and I still haven't given up.